it's never good when a player gets severely injured on a football pitch anywhere, but there are millions of people watching. It can get very, very graphic very, very quickly. And unfortunately, Gomes seems to have broken his foot, ankle, or he's fractured something and he's dislocated something. It could take a really long time to heal. You're looking at probably, I would think, the rest of the season out, and then potentially, a lot of rehab and recovery. I know Spurs were looking at buying Gomes in the summer, so it's sort of like a weird one as well. But I think that there's a lot of blame that's been chucked on Son here, and I do hope Gomes has a super speedy recovery. He's a really, really talented player. He could be a really good Premier League player for Everton or for another side. So I hope he gets the recovery he needs. Take the time. Don't get back too quick, because if you come back too quickly and you're not really ready, it could just detriment the longevity of your career. And nowadays, the sports science is so strong and so good. We've improved so much over such a short period of time. I mean, this would be a career-ending injury like 20 years ago. Now there's actually a good possibility he'll be able to recover from it and play at the elite level. So I hope that is the outcome that does happen with him. But on the backlash that Son's getting here for the tackle, I personally think maybe he shouldn't have done the tackle. It was so high up the pitch. It was so inconsequential position on the pitch. Aurier would have probably taken him out anyway. That was an awful choice of words. Aurier probably would have dispossessed him anyway. It was sort of a lunge in. I don't think it was a super dangerous tackle from Son. And the fact that he got red carded for that, I think, is utter nonsense. I think he was inconsolable anyway. I think he would have had to be subbed off as Aurier was, because they couldn't. Neither of them could have continued the match after that. I think they were pretty shot to pieces there. This is just what some pundits are saying about it. Obviously, these guys played the game. I respect a lot of them a lot. I respect a lot of them a lot. I respect a lot of them a lot. I respect them. And this is Jamie Carragher. He said Son shouldn't have been dismissed. Speaking on Sky Sports, Carragher said, "It's definitely not a red. If that is a red, then every challenge is endangering another player. There was a tackle from Chowdhury on Salah, that's a Leicester player, on a Liverpool player, and I didn't think that was a red." Klopp made a thing about it though. I think in the future of the game, if anyone makes a challenge where they know they can't win the ball, I think that will be the next step in the game. We might not agree with that, but wow, they will be red card decisions. This is the problem, because the bloody the Premier League came out with a statement which was really, really weird as to the reason why Son got a red card retroactively, because he initially got a yellow. And then I think it was Martin Atkinson took out a red for him. And this is what the Premier League said. They said the red card for Son was for endangering the safety of a player, which happened as a consequence of his initial challenge. So they're acknowledging, and I think this should be appealed 100%. And I think even the Everton manager said something similar. He said it's about Gomes at this moment, but at the same time, Son shouldn't have been dismissed for that, because it wasn't. Son didn't go in with the intent of doing what happened and what occurred after the fact of his tackle. If Aurier hadn't been there, that tackle, that injury wouldn't have happened. So I'm not blaming Aurier either. It was genuinely just a horrible accident, and I don't think he should be penalised in the way he's going to be. Honestly, I'm not sure he'd even want to play the next couple of games, or even for longer. These types of things, these types of situations can have a real detrimental effect on the person who thinks they have blame in it. And I think he's the type of person who will think he has the blame. And I don't think he should beat himself up over it. It could have happened to anyone. It could have happened to him. And they know the risks of going out on the football pitch. You're literally putting your body on the line. You're basically going to war for 95 minutes. That's genuinely the concept of these sports. That's the point. That's why I love them. That's why everyone loves them. It's very tribal. But you know the risks, and this is always a possibility. It can happen to absolutely anyone. Thankfully, they don't happen very often. and they're few and far between, but they do occur. Pat Nevin said this. He's a great old Everton player. Oh, he's not that old. All right, he's not that old, but he's a legend in some people's eyes. The players look devastated, and there's utter confusion here. Players with their heads in the hand, and I saw the video. I'm not gonna put the video here, but I'm not talking about the actual foot. It's Gomez's reaction, and also the players around him. All of them just their heads in their hands. It was that image was. I think it was really, really disgusting. You know, and Seamus Coleman had a similar injury a couple of years ago, and it's a really, really tough thing. I think that he came into the Spurs dressing room after and sort of talked to Son and a couple of the players, consoled them in a way, because he knows that someone didn't do that. It's not like Roy Keane like booting someone in the chest or Eric Cantona kung fu kicking someone. There wasn't that intent there, and I think that everyone knows Son isn't that type of player. But Pat Nevin says Son deliberately tackles Gomes, but he doesn't cause the injury. He is catapulted from that challenge onto Aurier. To blame Son and say that he did that deliberately is 100% wrong. Son is not like that. He's not that kind of guy. Like, he is genuinely probably one of the nicest, seemingly nice people in football. Everyone seems to be chill, but he seems like he's genuinely like a really good person. And I think this is something which can really break someone like him. Like, seriously, a lot of mental damage to him. He does not deserve the treatment he's going to get on social media. He's devastated. He was the cause, but it was not his fault. It's just one of those things which happen in football. It sounds very throwaway to say it's just one of those things that happens in football, but it's genuinely just stating the fact it does just happen sometimes. He also said players looked devastated. There was a lot of confusion. Hands on the head. Son was distraught. Aurier couldn't watch and was praying. Like, I just hope Gomes recovers properly and is able to have a full career and play at the levels which he can, and he hopefully will. Now, what did Pochettino say? Son's devastated. I was confused during the situation. When you watch it afterwards, it was never a tackle intended to do harm. It's just very, very unlucky. To finish with a red card for Son is very unfair. I mean, Poch, I'm not sure. I understand, Poch's mindset, which is we need Son to play, but I think it's going to take a lot to get him on the pitch on Wednesday for Red Star Belgrade. Honestly, I can't see him starting. I can see him having to bring Son because he needs him on the bench. Kane's not available, but Lamella's, whether I like Lamella or not, his numbers. And I cannot see him starting on Wednesday against Red Star. I think that would just be ridiculous to put him on the pitch. He looked like a mess coming off. So it's shit that this has happened. I don't think people should blame Son. Yes, he was. The thing is, I would say retroactively you shouldn't have done the challenge, but as Carragher said, what stage do we get to eventually where, if there was no intent to take the ball, then you should get a card anyway? It's like, Son barely touched him, really, but it was the follow-on effect from that which caused the severe injury. So, I think Carragher's right. I think that we're getting to a point, especially with VR. This game was a really bad game. One, the teams didn't play great. I think Spurs probably played better overall, but it wasn't a good game. VAR destroyed the game as well. I think we need to extract VAR from the game for now. Maybe bring it back in 18 months' time at the start of next season after that. They need to work on it. They need to get it right before they start implementing it, because it's just not working. There are as many controversial decisions as there are correct decisions. Reinstate referee decisions and see where it goes from there. But I just hope Gomes gets better. Proper bad one. And Son, man, don't beat yourself up. It wasn't 100% your fault. There is some fault on you. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think that it is. It should be playing on your mind in the way that I know it probably will be. Anyway, guys, I've been NarendraTheComic. I tried to do the outro. Just doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right. So I'll see you tomorrow anyway. Make a video every day. See you tomorrow. See you next time. Skadoosh.